What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Planetary Reviews. Hope you guys had an awesome new year and you had a great Christmas. Hope you guys got to enjoy it. Sorry I haven't been able to just do a lot of videos lately. I was going through a little bit of a rough patch, busy with the holidays and everything, but it is a new year. I feel better. I just had to take care of some stuff, but I'm very happy to give you my first new video of 2019, and this is my review for Keanu Reeves' new movie, Replicas. I was very excited to see this movie because I'm a huge Keanu fan. I always go to see as many of his movies as I can. Really love him. I think he's awesome. He even though his acting isn't like the greatest thing in the world, I love the characters that he portrays because the way he acts usually complements the characters that he plays. Is that the case in this movie? And was this movie able to shine is the question. Well, in my opinion, I'd say this movie was a little bit of a mixed bag, but let's get into it. Replicas is about a man named William who loses his family in a car accident, and it turns out that he is a scientist that is trying to develop a way to take your mind and plant it into another body, like a robotic body, and he's been trying to master it, and it's been taking forever. And the thing that makes him try to do it and try to make it work is when he loses his family, and in the process we have some bad stuff going on. When he does this, things don't go as planned with the company that he's working for and stuff. I'm not going to get that much into it, but it doesn't go great. It gets a little rough. But let's talk about just how the story progressed. In my opinion, I thought the story was interesting. The idea was very intriguing. I love the idea of taking a person's memories, putting it into another body, and then having the question of, is that person anymore? Does that make it them? Like, do they have a soul anymore? And it really brought up some very extremely interesting questions that I think other sci-fi films have questioned before, but the way this film did it in a more unique way, which is why the concept of this movie was so fascinating. I thought this was an extremely cool idea, but I feel like the way this movie portrayed this whole situation, while alright, there were some issues, there were some tones in the movie that just didn't fit the way I felt the overall movie should be. There was some comedy in this movie, surprisingly, and it wasn't laugh out loud, haha type of stuff, but it just felt out of place. There were a lot of moments where they were just drop like little subtle jokes, and it was just like, it didn't feel right. They were a little chuckle, but it kind of ruined the mood of this very horrific and extremely important situation, and you're kind of just making it get delved down to a little bit of a joke, and that kind of stopped the movie a little bit for me at times when we had that in the first part of this film. But by the time you get to the end, it does make up for it a little bit, because the movie starts to get more tense. You start to sit there and be like, oh, how is this gonna get resolved? What's going on? And the way Keanu Reeves portrays his character, while he has trouble giving an extremely emotional performance, I've never been able to see him as an emotional actor. So when the emotional parts did happen and his family passes, it just, in the beginning, it was hard to feel it. It was hard to feel the emotion. I thought it sucked that he lost his family, but because of Keanu Reeves' performance, it wasn't able to make you hit it and feel it great. So that was a little bit of a flaw, even though I love my man Keanu, but it just didn't have the impact that I wanted it to. And then on top of that, I will say, like I said, by the time the third act came along and like the ending started going, a lot of interesting stuff started happening. There was like one thing that I was not expecting to happen that made me go, oh wow, that's the way this is going to get resolved. Holy crap, wow. That was really cool. But then by the time you get to the end, it gets a little corny. The very last scene in the movie is a little like, alright, a little, like, people in the audience were laughing by the time that little scene happened at the end, and I was like, I don't blame them. It got a little silly. It was all good in the end until we got to that moment. It just kind of ruined it for me. But let's talk about the special effects. There wasn't too much CGI in this movie, obviously, because it wasn't some big, high-octane, high-budget movie. There was only one moment where there was CGI, and actually 2, and it wasn't bad. It didn't look horrible. And then there was another moment where you see in the trailer where he's looking through all the memories and stuff like that, and data and all this crazy stuff, and that looked cool as well. So the special effects and everything were cool, except for when towards the end, when they do like a little bit of a battle scene, it doesn't look great. It looked alright, but not 100% up to par. But I'm not gonna fault it too much for that, because of the fact that I highly doubt that this movie had a AAA budget. It didn't. It probably was mid-tier budget, I would imagine, the way this movie went. But the next thing I want to talk about is the cinematography in this movie. The cinematography was great, filmed really well, a lot of great angles. When the action did go down, we saw what was going on, and everything like that looked great. But overall, there isn't much more to say. This was, at the end of the day, Replicas was a very interesting idea. A very interesting idea when it comes to sci-fi, with the way he took the memories out, puts it into another body. It made you question things, and it made you feel something like, wow, is that actually possible? Would it be even an ethical thing to do if I were in that situation that he was in? Would I do that? The movie does bring up those questions. It just doesn't knock out of the park the emotions, because when he lost his family because of Keanu's acting ability, I wasn't 100% feeling it when you were supposed to feel emotion. And then the way this movie was, they were trying to portray a very serious film in the trailers and everything, and this whole situation is very serious. It's a very dark situation that this main character has gotten into. It sucks. So when we have these moments where there's lightheartedness, I get it, you don't want it to be all sad, but it really did feel out of place when these little jokes would happen here and there, and it just kind of took the intensity of the situation out of it by having these jokes in it. But at the end of the day, like I said, Replicas is a fun movie. It's fun, it's a good time, you eat some popcorn and there you go, but it just didn't do enough to get crazy with it. It didn't do anything that made me go, wow, that was incredible. Nothing really got it, because it wasn't able to capitalize this movie. It wasn't able to make you feel the emotions that it wanted you to feel. And with an ending like that, where it got a little corny with that last scene, it kind of didn't leave you with anything to feel at the end other than that was fun. So at the end of the day, Replicas gets a solid C+ for me, guys. It was a passable movie. It was alright. I had fun, but you're not going to remember it tomorrow. You're not going to remember it a year from now. It's just going to be one of those sci-fi movies that you go, oh yeah, that was the one with Keanu Reeves, right? That's pretty much the gist of how this movie's going to feel for a lot of people, in my opinion. So those are my thoughts on Replicas. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below, because like I said, I thought it had a lot of potential. Just wasn't able to hit that breaking point, unfortunately. I really wanted it to, but by no means was this an awful film. It just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't able to make me go, wow. It just made me walk out here and go, that was fun. It's something that I would recommend seeing on like HBO, Showtime, or something like that. But unfortunately, it wasn't as good as what it could have potentially been. Now, this movie is a great example of potential, but missed. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I'm very happy that it's 2019. I'm going to try and do a nice restart, try and get on track, go back to the way I was doing schedules with like having the videos come out once a week. It's just that with school and stuff, it was a little rough, and with work and the holidays, it just hit me all at once, and my schedule got a little screwed up. But it's 2019. I'm going to work hard and make sure I go back on schedule, give you guys more reviews and everything like that. So as always, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.